Hey, what's up guys, TBL here coming back at you with another fairly quick Destiny Crucible gameplay here. Yeah baby, I've been saying it over the past couple of videos and on some live streams. I've been kind of getting back into the Crucible here on Destiny. It's not quite where it needs to be connection wise. I still get a couple of weird connections, but I've been having a lot of fun playing around. Got myself a brand new primary, which you guys are going to be seeing here, that little Finales Peril, the Iron Banner hand cannon. I think it's actually going to be on sale. Either that or the Auto Rifle is going to be on sale next week during the tournament. But I got a maximum range version of this thing, which if you're using legendary hand cannons, you absolutely need. The only way you're going to get decent usability out of a hand cannon is with max range, and I love this thing. One headshot, two body shots, and it's a kill. Although I make a poor decision here. Rather than following up on the guys behind me, I decided to turn my back to them. Don't make that mistake. But yeah, I had been searching for a new primary weapon to use in the Crucible, because of course you know, since the April Spring update came out, now known in the Destiny community as the Taken Spring. Since that came out, we've had a couple of changes to the primary weapon game, and I've been trying to get a feel for certain things. Now, the old meta is still very much in place: Doctrine of Passing, Mito Multi-Tool, Arminius D. Last word if, you know, you can still manage it without the hipfire bonus damage, so not too much different there, but you can use a few of the high-impact autos. Stuff like the Suros Regime, Monte Carlo, maybe a decently rolled Suros ARI 45, but it's good stuff. But for me, I have been trying to get back to my beautiful baby hand cannons here. As you guys know, hand cannons are my favorite primary weapon class. I absolutely love these things. I've loved them since Destiny came out, and I've been super duper sad. I've been a sad panda these past couple of months with how inaccurate hand cannons are. You know, we still have the whole ghost bullet thing going on, and it's not a great time. But I started playing around with this Finales Peril. I noticed I had it in my vault, along with like 4 other rolls of it that were all different and all had some really interesting perks on it. But this one had maximum range, so I figured, you know, let me jump into Crucible and see exactly how this thing is working. And I gotta say, I'm really digging it. It's a consistent 3-shot kill. I very rarely experience the hand cannon ghost bullet thing that is absolutely plaguing the class. The only way to get past that is literally to have maximum range, which thankfully this thing does, and I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. It's pretty much become my new go-to primary weapon for the Crucible. Even though the start of this match hasn't been anything too impressive, just stay tuned, it gets good. But yeah, so I've been enjoying the Crucible, can't wait for Iron Banner next week, but that's not really what I wanted to talk to you guys about in today's video. We have got some pretty official looking confirmation that those rumors about the PlayStation 4.5, well, it's looking like they're completely verifiably true. According to some recent Eurogamer leak reports, the PlayStation is getting a brand new model set to be unveiled sometime this summer, maybe even at the end of this spring. And the model is being, well, kind of titled the PlayStation 4 Neo. Don't know if that name is official, but apparently the model of PlayStation itself definitely is. And that, of course, leaves us with a lot of really exciting speculation for what exactly we're going to be getting with this new console. Is it going to be like the PlayStation 3 Slim, where it's a little bit more powerful, but really just a more streamlined, compact console that doesn't take up quite as much space? I mean, do you guys remember how big PlayStation 3s were when they first came out? Those things were absolutely massive. Or will this be a more significant console upgrade, akin to how Nintendo does things in the handheld market, where you have, you know, like your 3DS and then your new 3DS, which is significantly more powerful and is overall, in my opinion, a better platform for games? Well, we've actually got a couple of things to look at with this. There's going to be some pretty big changes apparently coming with the new model of PlayStation 4. And apparently a couple of game developers aren't really too happy with it. Not so much because it's not a good platform, but because of some of the changes that Sony wants to enforce. Which, some of them are pretty consumer friendly, very good changes, but I could see how they'd be very difficult for developers to acquiesce to. But we're going to be going through a quick list of things here that are being reported on. In terms of specs, The CPU itself on the Neo is pretty much going to be the exact same model of CPUs, just overclocked at 2.1 GHz. Right now the PlayStation 4 has an 8 Jaguar core clocked at 1.6 GHz, so that's going to be moving up to about 2.1 GHz, which is about a 31% increase. And the same can really be said for the changes between the GPU and the onboard memory. It's still going to have 8 GB of GDDR5 RAM memory, except it's going to be moving at 218 GB per second on the new PlayStation 4 Neo, as opposed to the 176 GB per second on the baseline PlayStation 4. So about a 24% boost to memory bandwidth. Now the GPU is what a lot of people are excited about, and it's apparently getting a pretty sizable clock speed increase from about 800 MHz of what it's got right now to 911 MHz. Although we've got no actual name on what type of graphics processor they use in the PlayStation 4 itself, or at least I have no idea. But a CPU, GPU, and onboard memory upgrade is exactly what I want to hear in terms of new console models. So yeah, that's all exciting. But what about the games, TBL? Are there going to be PlayStation 4 Neo exclusive games? Well, I don't really know, but right now it's looking like that might not be the case, as Eurogamer has reported that in allowing development for the PlayStation 4 Neo, Sony really wants complete parity between the Neo and baseline PlayStation 4 consoles. What that basically means is they want people who are on PlayStation 4s right now to be able to play the same games as people who are on PlayStation 4 Neos. Now that sounds like a great thing at first, because of course you don't want to have to force people to buy an entirely new console to continue playing the games that you've got coming out. That would really suck if a bunch of Neo-only games were to surface, forcing people to have to buy a new platform. And it looks like Sony doesn't quite want to follow that route, thankfully. They want PlayStation Neo players to be able to play with regular PlayStation users and vice versa. Now, that's a good thing for consumers. Hopefully that doesn't limit developers who are going to continue making games for these platforms, and especially for the PlayStation Neo itself, since they do have to ensure that it's perfectly compatible and will run just as well on a PlayStation 4. But alright, apparently the DualShock 4 will continue to be the primary controller for any new consoles that are going to be coming out. I'm both happy about that because the PlayStation 4 controller is pretty darn good, and sad because it's also pretty darn flimsy. Well, at least the control stick and the trigger buttons are, and I would like to see that fixed in upcoming PlayStation 4 controller models, because I think everyone I know who has a PlayStation 4 has broken a trigger button and their control stick at least once. I'm on controller number 5, by the way. 1080p on the Neo will be the mandatory minimum display, meaning that Sony is really pushing for developers to put out higher resolution games. There will be no online segregation between the consoles, meaning that if a PlayStation title supports online features, they must be deployed equally on both consoles. Also, save data has to be cross-platform. Again, this is great for consumers, but I could see where it'd be a little bit difficult for developers to be keeping that parity again between a more powerful console and a less powerful one like the Neo should be to the PlayStation 4. And of course, there's a lot of other good stuff about this in the Eurogamer article, which there will be a link to in the description box beneath this video, so you guys can go and check out all of the reported specs if you'd like to. But, there has, as of yet, been no mention of backwards compatibility. And I'm not talking about backwards compatibility with earlier PlayStation 4 titles. I'm talking about backwards compatibility with the PlayStation 3's library. I want to say that Sony has made no mention of that, nor have any of the other sites who have been reporting on the PlayStation 4.5 Neo, or whatever you want to call it. Which overall I guess is an odd, since this thing hasn't been officially revealed by Sony yet. But as we move forward, that's something I would certainly be interested in hearing about. I've been crying for backwards compatibility on the PS4 for a long time, and Sony's for a long time said that it wouldn't be possible on the normal PlayStation 4, so here's hoping it's something on the Neo. But beyond that, I'm really interested in seeing how this newer, more powerful PlayStation 4 model is going to be handling some of the games we've got now and some of the ones in the future. The console itself is supposedly capable of 4K output. I'm not too sure whether or not I put any kind of stock into that rumor. But I am very interested in seeing just what advantages the Neo will have over the baseline PlayStation 4. Will games run better? I would imagine so, but I would be surprised if games that run at 30 frames per second on PlayStation 4 right now, like Destiny here, ran at a different frame rate on the Neo. As a matter of fact, I could almost guarantee that they wouldn't, since Sony really wants to keep, again, that line of parity between PlayStation 4 versions of games and the Neo. Essentially, there's going to be no difference between them. Which, again, if all of this winds up being true, kind of begs the question, well, what's the point of getting the Neo then? If there's no real difference in the experience between the consoles, then is it worth getting the new console? Well, I guess we'll just have to find out. Could you imagine a version of Destiny on the Neo that ran at 60 FPS? Ooh, baby, I can't wait for the day. But again, I really doubt that that'll be the case because I think Bungie built the game world of Destiny around 30 frames per second, and that's probably only going to change when Destiny 2 comes out. But hey, we can dream. But alright, that's pretty much it for this video, guys, and that's really all the stuff I wanted to talk to you about concerning the rumors about the new PlayStation 4 model titled the PlayStation 4 Neo. Whether or not that title's gonna stick, who knows? It seems kinda silly to me. But those are my thoughts. Be sure to leave me yours in the comment section below. See, we managed to pull it back for this gameplay, 21-13. Not too bad for that rocky start. Ooh, and look at that red Spectre roll. Congrats, Guardian. But alright, thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope you all have a wonderful weekend. And as always, I am the Blacklink. You Guardians, stay frosty. Can't wait to see some more about the PlayStation 4 Neo.